right, we had a little technical difficulty, but we are back now. We have our graduating class that I do want to welcome. And first and foremost, I want to say shout out to everybody in YouTube world. Thank you to everyone who continues to endorse and patron this platform. We are greatly appreciated. We have a dope treat for our community tonight once again, in that we have a couple of people who are slated to graduate this evening from our Biblical Hebrew 101 class, and they are a pretty dope group. That's one thing I gotta say, and that's one thing you're gonna definitely be able to see in a couple of moments. And so I just want to ask everybody that's out there on YouTube to make sure that you share this live stream, throw up the video, take it, put it on all your social media platforms, so that as many people as possibly can, they can look at this, they can view it, they can see it. While we're doing that, I'm going to also do the same on my end. I'm going to share the link to my social media platform. And in the meantime, we're going to hear a quick commercial break.
I wash my natural hair and my face with the same product because natural hair care is easy. Natural skin care is easy. Don't make it hard.
Starting your Locker natural hair journey is oh so rewarding, but can be extremely stressful when you start to consider what products to use. If that's you, then look no further. Locklicious is a Black-owned company that has created an all-natural product line for locked and loose natural crowns. The Locklicious team works hard to ensure that their products are free of parabens, phthalates, sulfates, PEG, synthetics, and other toxic chemicals you find in other products. Best of all, the products are lightweight and will not leave residue or cause buildup. Go to locklicious.com to start treating your crown like royalty.
All right, so once again, shalom to all the family in the building. We're going to hear from everybody who is from the class. I'm going to start with More Zafan. And I'm going to ask you, More, to give us your name, tell us where you're from, tell us something a little about yourself, and also tell us how you came to come in to learn Torah Hebrew Academy. The floor is yours, More. Shalom.
All right. Well, shalom to everyone. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, because without the Most High, none of this would be possible. My name is Taza Pawan, also known as Maury Zafan. And I've been awakened to this truth for about 3 years now, right? I came into it under a One West school of thought, right? And that's all I knew. What brought me to the Learn Torah Hebrew Academy is two things. First, I want to give a big shout out to my brother in the truth. His name is Morey Chabach. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with him, Morey Zion. He's a brother that he started with your classes. We came into this thing together. He started with your classes, and he was telling me how much that he's learning from you. So that made me intrigued, because one of the things that stuck to me as always is that even if we're in this truth, we're supposed to question everything, right? And strive for the unabridged truth. So that's one thing. And I told you, I said, listen, I don't care what school of thought I'm coming from, what school of thought that you belong to. I just want to be in it for the entire truth and know what the truth is for myself. And I'm coming into this thing with an open mind, and that's where I am today, to where I'm learning Hebrew the right way. No shade to the other camps out there, but like this is, I've learned the most from you in regards to this language than I have in the past 2.5 years of not being in your class. So again, Toda Rabah to you for your patience and your wisdom, and all praises to the Most High for allowing me to be in your class.
Thank you very much for that, Moray. I really do appreciate that, and I definitely want to say that this class we attract a lot of different thinkers in our community, and I think it's just powerful that we have a strong brother like yourself that represented our class. I do remember that we first met on one of my museum tours, and from the time that we first met and crossed paths, I automatically bonded and knitted with you, and automatically knew that you would be come to be a dope brother and possibly a great friend. And so I appreciate you, man. And I definitely want to say to you that you're one of those people that you took this class very seriously. You did not play. You came in, you did what was necessary, you fulfilled all the requirements, you went above and you went beyond. And to that and for that, I salute you greatly. And I hope that everybody that you cross paths with, you're able to inspire them, empower them, and enhance them with your newfound knowledge. And I say, Mazel Tov to you. And after that, we're going to hear from Moray Kazak. Same thing, Moray. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, where you're from? Give us a little background on who you are and how it is that you came to wind up in Learn Torah Hebrew Academy. You're muted.
Okay, we good now? All right, shalom, shalom. I'm Kazak, from Atlanta, Georgia. I came across Moray Zion on YouTube, and I was always intrigued by his zeal and his energy for this culture and this truth. And so that's what drew me into learning from him and coming to this academy. So yeah, that's it, man. It was a journey. We can put it that way. It was a journey, man, and enjoyed every step of it. I learned so much. So thank you for everything, Moray.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. We go back. We definitely
Yeah,
go
yeah,
back,
yeah,
and
for
you're
sure.
definitely one of those people that I definitely appreciate. Not just in class, but even offline. Like me and you had real life conversations offline as men that we both can relate to, and I think it's important, especially in our community, that we can lean on each other when necessary. Because I've certainly leaned on you and through some things about my personal life in your ears, and I'm glad that you were able to hear me and receive me, and even empower me. So I thank you for that. Those
Thank
choice
you.
words that we spoke with one another. And I definitely want to say when it comes to you, man, your hard work and your dedication goes without saying, man. Even me watching what you do from day to day in your professional life, in part as a bodybuilder, and me watching you win, time after time after time after time again, it was inspiring for me. Like I was literally just telling you just recently that I'm watching you and I'm seeing all your progress, and it's little do you know, it's inspiring me behind the scenes to say, yo, man, let me write down some goals and let me start doing it. We never realize how much people inspire us that we see every day. Like you might be admiring somebody and not even realizing that they're in full and complete admiration of you as well. So that goes a long way. And I definitely appreciate you and I definitely respect you. And with that being said, we're going to hear now from Moray Ariel, whom I've nicknamed very recently the Rebbe, um, solely because he's a very, very sharp brother, in my humble opinion. And I think that when you guys hear him, you're going to see and experience that for yourself. So, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, Moray Ariel? Give us a little background, where you're from, and also, if you can, briefly go into how you came it is that you embraced this academy and learned Torah.
Shalom, 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 family. Shalom to you, Moray. Shalom to the class. Shalom to the chat. It's an honor to be here. I want to thank the Most High for all of you for coming out and for supporting us, supporting the community. My name is Ariel. I originally hail from Dominican Republic. I was born third world country, You know what I mean? But I was brought over to the Bronx at a young age, and it was a blessing for me because all I knew was poverty from where I was from. And then when I went to the Bronx, it felt like it was just a whole new world. And I'm like, wow, I'm really blessed. And to think the Bronx is just the slums compared to like the rest of the United States. So when I'm looking at the Hebrew Israelites and how they affected my life, I would always look to this road and Fordham Road, and it will always be some brothers out there telling us that we're the people that we shouldn't be bamboozled or fooled. And I always felt like it was the truth even back then. But as I was growing up, I was in a Pentecostal church. I was in a Seventh Day Adventist church, and then recently, 2 years ago, is when I really picked up the Bible and I said, "Hold on, I'm really gonna look at this and really take all of this in." Started from Bereshit and then all the way to the end of the book. And the one verse that caught me was Zechariah 14, where it says that everyone in the world was going to worship the king. And to me, it bothered me because I knew that there was nobody out there that was like, nobody's worshiping the king like that. Like when you compare the nations, it says every single nation would worship the king. And it hasn't happened yet. So that's when I knew. I'm like, oh, this hasn't happened yet. This is prophecy. And not only that, we all were gonna keep Sukkot together. So that's when I knew, hold on, the commandments are true, the feast days are true, everything on here is true. Everything in the Bible is true. We have to keep every single word to the T because that is our righteousness. And as I was looking through the Hebrew Israelite world, I came across you, More Zion, and I was like, this brother is sharp. Sharp. I need to be a student. I need to be at his feet and learn because honestly, the amount of knowledge that you impart on us every class, every single class is just amazing. And I always speak highly of you. Um, to me, you're a mentor. You're my big bro, as I always tell you. So uh, I think that's all I got.
All right. All right. Well, thank you greatly for that, man. What can I say? Upon meeting you, we had like this brief moment where it was like you were in class, but you were not in class. I think at the time you was watching a lot of videos, and but then slowly but surely you began to actually make your face and your presence be known. You actually began to come into the class, and I began to resonate with you more. And from that time that I began to actually see and interact with you in class, I said, no, this is one of the special ones. And by one of the special ones, I mean there's a lot of different people that I interact with, not just in the classes, but in life in general. And as an adult of age and experience, especially in the Hebrew and the Israelite community, one thing we begin to have an eye for is those people who we can say are the special ones. The people who we can see something in that maybe a lot of people miss, but we can see it because we can see your passion, we can see your drive, we can see your tenacity, we can see that you have like this unbridled will and stream of thought and emotion and insight towards this way of life, and it comes out in your message in the class, in your words, in the way you speak, and in the way you carry yourself as far as you've interacted with us. So I'm very, very thankful for you. You are a blessed man as well because you're not just represented here tonight by yourself, you're also represented by your wife. She in the chat room cheering you on. She like, yo, that's my husband. She letting it be known in case the lady's like, ooh, let me pull up his profile picture. She like, yo, that's my husband. Y'all know I had to say that, right? So, yo, with that being said, man, tremendous respect for you, fellow New Yorker to a certain extent. But you gotta take me to DR. You gotta take me to all the nice spots. I would love to go to DR soon, man. So the next time you plan a trip to DR, just know that Moray's down with it. All right? And
Most definitely, Maury. I got you. I got you. Punta Cana, here we come.
Punta Cana, here we come, baby. Here we come, baby. We coming to turn up too. All right. With that being said, last but not least, where do I start with this pain in my you know what? No, I'm playing. More of life. I told her from the time she joined the class, man, what are you doing here? Because in her own words, she had taken a Hebrew course before, and me hearing her, I said, this is probably not the class for you. And she's like, yeah, but sometimes you miss things, or things can skip. And she goes, you're a different teacher because you're not just teaching Hebrew in your classes. We come to your classes and we get Torah, we get Kabbalah, we get the whole shebang. So that's different. And she said something to me that I was well aware of, but a lot of people don't know. When you take an introductory class on biblical Hebrew, they teach you the alphabet, they teach you the vowels. We go way above that in these classes. On top of that, we include a Torah class with it. We include a Kabbalah class with it. So there's so many things. I mean, we're talking history in the class. We're going into the psychology within the text. So you're getting all of that. And she was one of those people who early recognized it and pulled me to the side several times, both in and outside of class, and said, hey, you need to be doing this to get to the next level. You have a lot going on. She didn't know I was going to say all this tonight, but I'm going to say it. She said, you have a lot of potential, but you just so like, you here right now, but you could be here, but you got to be a little bit more organized with what you're doing. And you have to have that vision to see and understand that while you're on this small scale right now, with a little help, because we all need help, you can take what you're doing to the next level. And the reason why I say that, even mention that, is because one of the things that has been of great benefit for me, for the people who attend these classes, is that I'm steady learning from you. It's not simply the wisdom that we're exchanging and imparting in class, because everybody's a free teacher in the class. The way that we run our classes, I don't tell people, this is what I know. You're the student, shut up, take notes, and listen. Everybody's a teacher. People who take my classes will tell you, Mora even let us tell him, nah, that's wrong. And then we duke it out. And if Moray realizes he's wrong, the class will tell you, Moray is saying, my bad, I'm wrong. And that's how we're supposed to do it, because humility is a precursor towards what we're calling wisdom. So we don't really have wisdom unless we have humility first. So that's a well sought after trait in our classes. And I think that that's one of the reasons why, in such a diverse setting where we have messianics, non messianics, shout out to Mora Lavia. Gotta say your name once I say non messianics, right? We got messianics and non messianics, but there's never any disrespect. No matter how much our views may be different, we understand that the common denominator is that we understand that we have a service to do and a task to do before the Creator, and that's the thing that unites us on all fronts. We may have different opinions on how we view the Messiah, how we view the Messianic age and final redemption, but we should have one core common denominator in place. And that is the way that we understand the message of our God and our King. And that we have in place. And she's one of those people that make that very clear. So I'm going to ask you, even though I probably gave some of the description by talking so damn much, I'm going to ask you to tell us who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself, and also tell us how you came to learn the class, because I never quite asked you that question. So I'm curious to hear that myself.
All right, then. Well, originally I was born in New York. My family is from the islands, and I currently live in Texas.
All right. She might be having a little technical
Let's see.
difficulty.
I started studying Hebrew a while back. Is it me?
You coming through
No?
now.
Yes. Okay,
You
good.
coming through
Yes.
now.
Awesome. Okay. I started studying Hebrew a long time ago, actually. I was looking and reading in the Bible and seeing all of the different holidays or the feast days that we're supposed to be celebrating. And I just didn't find any of the ones that we currently celebrate here in the States on that list. And so I started going around to different places. Well, actually, what happened is there was a sign outside this building close to where I live, and it said Feast of Tabernacles. And I had just seen um, a message about the Feast of Tabernacles. So I was like, well, let me go check this place out. And that was the first time I'd ever heard of Messianic Jews. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll just go here for a while. And then stayed there for a little bit and then started going to the synagogue. And throughout that whole time, been studying the language. And then how I got into finding out who I was is that I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was just like, well, we're the people. And I was like, well, really? That makes sense to me, because that's the stuff that I was reading. It sounded like it came from us, and so how I got to the class was one day I just prayed and asked God. I was like, you know what, God, I need some people that is really studying, that's not just still stuck on the alphabet for 2 years. And yeah, it was really a point of contention for me. And they study all the different stuff that I do, because at the time I was the only person that I knew that studied the Kabbalah. And so when I found this group, I was actually looking for anybody who was talking about Frederick K.C. Price, because he was saying something similar. And I was like, I wonder what else is he saying? And so then your channel popped up, and I just started, I seen the video of his that you hosted, and I was like, that's a really good one. I wonder what else this man has on his channel. And as I started going through and seeing how you breaking down the Hebrew words, how you actually did the Egyptian hieroglyphs, I was like, oh my gosh. And then in one of the videos, you said that you hosted Hebrew classes. And I think under that video, I was like, I'm going to be in your next class just as soon as it is, and from there, I really kind of like jumped all over the internet, typing your name in, and found, what was it? It's a Facebook and like a YouTube and whatever else, your website. And I was like, okay, yeah, I got to find out when these classes are, when they start. And I think I started within 3 days of finding your YouTube, and switched around my schedule, because I was like, that's another thing I got to do. I got to stop working where I'm doing all of this extra work and not able to make it to classes. So yeah, and here I am.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. And I said a lot initially about you, but I just want to say some more closing things. That you're definitely a very gifted person. You're a very humble person, but you also are very sure in what you're sure about. And there are times in the class, as I'm listening to you, I'm saying to myself that this woman needs a school of her own too, because you have such a strong and powerful voice and a lot of wise words to share, and you catch on pretty damn quick. And so you're one of the reasons why um, I and a growing number of men are putting a lot of respect on the notion of having our sisterhood step up to the plate as well. Because if we can go into Tanakh and we can see that strong presence of our matriarchs, but then we look at our current community today and we say, where are they? That's a problem. But then when we see people like yourself and others, we start to realize that it's not that we don't have them, we just don't have enough today who are stepping up to the forefront to say, I can do this. I am willing to do this. Let's do this. And so, you being one of those people who take the initiative, who step up to the plate, I greatly honor you and I greatly respect you.
Well, thank you.
All right. So, with that being said, we're going straight over to a little bit of reading. As is customary for our classes, just before everyone receives their certificate, the first thing that I do is to have everyone come up and read. And so the first person we're going to hear from tonight The person who is going to set it off for us tonight is actually going to be the person who didn't think I was going to call to set it off. So, More Zafan, aka Taz Pawan, we're going to have you set it off for us. I'm going to share my screen in a couple of moments, and once I do that, you are going to start the reading for us in Bereshit, Perek Aleph, chapter 1. Right? When the community can see my screen and when you can see my screen, we are going to start. Can you see my screen, More?
Okay.
All right, so it's on you.
All right. Hallelujah. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Haaretz hayta tohu vavohu vechoshek al panei techom veruach Elohim meraefet al panei hamayim. Vayomer Elohim yehi or vayehi or. Vayar Elohim et haor kitov. Vayavdel Elohim bein haor uvein hachoshek. Vayikra Elohim laor yom velachoshek kara laila. Vayehi erev, vayehi boker yom echad.
That was absolutely excellent, my brother. Excellent reading. I want to ask you a question concerning um, Genesis chapter 1. If you were called in to give a brief dissertation on Genesis chapter 1, as brief as you possibly can, what would you teach us about Genesis chapter 1, employing your newfound understanding of Hebrew?
All right. Well, if you can you please put on the cancellation marks?
Oh, I sure can. Let's see you go to work. I sure can. All right, give me a second.
All right. So, first and foremost, we're going to go Genesis 1:1, which is the opening line, right? With this class, you've taught us a lot of things. First is to not only spot the prefixes, right, to words and suffixes, but also the verb, right? So, for example, bereshit, be, or the bet with the shawah under it, is an actual prefix which means in or with. Reshit is beginning, right? Or and based off the etymology, it will mean beginning or motion. So if we go to the next word, bara, which is the actual verb in the call or all stem, and we can identify that by the in a voice pattern, that means create, right? So if we look at the first three words, is Bereshit bara Elohim. If you notice this upside down, what I like to call it a tunic fork, and under the hay in Elohim, right? That's called an atnach, which means that it's for this, that they put that as the first part of the sentence, meaning that in itself is an actual thought of that first sentence. So if we're just going by that part of the sentence, Bereshit bara Elohim, and we're going to break it down as in beginning created God, right? But if we know what break down the word Elohim, we know that it can mean lawgiver or judge. So we can then say Bereshit bara Elohim means in beginning what was created. He created the title of being a judge. That was the first creation, which was for the Most High to create a title of being a judge or a lawgiver. Then, if we look at the rest of it, which is 8, which is the direct object marker, then we can see that what comes after that particular title first is Hashamayim, if you look at the word Hashemayim, which means heavens, and the reason why we say the heavens first, the Ha is a definitive article, right? Which is the, or definite article, I should say. But then Shemayim, the suffix im, it suggests ayim, I should say, that suggests duality, right? So that means that he created the heavens, meaning more than one. The concept of heaven, there's more than one heaven. There's the one on the physical plane.
Hold on. God damn, is there smoke coming in the room right now? Where are the weapons? Woo! Oh, I'm sorry. I said, briefly tell us a little something about it. And he said, I got an atomic bomb for it. You saying briefly? But don't let me stop you. You're talking about the word Shemayim not just being a masculine plural, but being a dual plural in Hebrew. So let me not stop you. Continue to tear this room up.
Yeah, so basically, like you said, it's a masculine plural, but also a dual plural, which denotes that there's more than one heaven. There's the heaven that we know of up above, but also there's the earthly plane. So, and that's something that us as Hebrews, as Israelites, always understood the concept of duality when it comes to the word heaven, right? Then you see We'et, again, another and a direct object marker, right? Which means haaretz, the earth, right? Or everything that the earth consists of, which is the, like, elements, the stable earth and the elements all there within. So again, if you break this down, this is more than just in the beginning, God created the earth. Created the heavens and the earth. It's a whole lot to unpack, but you have to join classes like Learn Torah Hebrew Academy, right? With Brother Zion Lex, or Moray Zion Lex, I should say, to even get the basis of the understanding, to even break it down, that just one sentence, which is deep.
I mean, I got my mic on mute, man, but it's hard to go behind you and talk after that. You just push the bar very high for your fellow class members. Ooh, whoa, woo! We was talking earlier about not wanting to follow some of y'all. You just made it very hard to follow. You are the real deal, my brother. You truly are, and I see so much more in store for you. And I hope and can only pray that I have the divine opportunity of sharing sacred space with you and being able to share a stage, to share a platform, to share in moments of future history where I can also have the added ability to be in the same room, not just to speak among you, but to actually hear you speak. You're one of those people that I've said to you, I see a lot of potential in you. I said it offline, privately, and I'm now saying it publicly. You are the truth. You are the real deal. Thank you so very much for that. All right. And so, the bar is pretty high, guys. I don't know what y'all gonna do. So, the next person that I'm gonna call is actually gonna be Moray Kazak.
Man, I can't follow that up. I can read a little bit.
Take your time, man. Take your time. The bar was definitely
Man.
set high, but take your time, man. Let's start with the reading of the text so far. Let's do that.
Okay. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashemayim ve'et haaretz heta tohu wavohu ve'koshek al panah tehom ve'ruach Elohim ma'aret kafet al panah hamayim ve'yomer Elohim ve'he or ve'yar Elohim et ha'or ki tov ve'yavdel Elohim ben heor uvein Ha Koshek,
Excellent.
Rev
Excellent.
Likla, Elohim. Let's see, Elohim, Wehe, Erev, Wehe, Boker, Yom, Akai.
Excellent. 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 Let me ask you a question, Moray Kazak.
Okay.
When it comes to the Tanakh and the scriptures, you have a lot of people that have different insights on how to approach it. Let me ask you a question. As assuming I'm someone that doesn't know the Torah and the Tanakh, what would be convincing, in your opinion, to want to learn more about the Torah and the Tanakh, especially with the added advantage of understanding the Hebrew language?
Just the simple things. Just looking at prefixes, looking at the suffix, looking at verb stems, and looking at how certain translations may have the verb stems incorrect, so we're getting a different outlook on what's actually being said. Learning this language, we really get into this culture, and we really understand what the writer and what these our ancestors were, really trying to give us. And that's one thing that I've really gotten from it. I've really connected more with the culture and just going deeper with the language in the Torah and the Tanakh.
All right. And I appreciate that definitely from you, man. And again, man, you have a lot of potential. You have a lot going on behind the scenes. It's positive for yourself, man. Don't be a stranger. As you graduate from 101, you are now newly immersed in our Biblical Hebrew 102 class for advanced students on Wednesday. So make sure that we're able to see you there as well. And I greet you in the tongue of our ancient forefathers when I say, man, what you're doing in this moment, you may not realize it now, but when you look back, this is a huge achievement. And I wish that it was YouTube, what I was doing, what you guys are doing right now, which is graduating the class, because I would love to be able to look back at that younger me and just kind of observe that, yo, I did that. That was once me. But unfortunately, when I graduated Hebrew, there was no such thing as YouTube yet. So I want to say for you guys though, you have this luxury of going back and watching this at some point, sharing it with your family, sharing it with your friends, your loved ones, close relatives, etc., etc. And I want you guys to take that to heart because at some point in your life, as you reflect upon your life achievements, this is certainly going to be one of those things that you conceive of as a life achievement. And it's an honor that the Creator used me in part to help you see that through. And so it's a humbling thing for me to know, and I'm showing gratitude in this moment for you guys choosing this particular school to learn from. So thank you. And which is one it's going to be? Well, more life.
All right.
All right, more life. You see, with you, we're gonna do things a little different. You see, with
Always
you, we're
different.
gonna do things a little. I gotta shake it up and have a little variable up there, right? We're gonna do something a little different with you. We're gonna slide down to the Book of Exodus. We're gonna slide down to the Book of Exodus. Can you see this screen? Exodus chapter 12, 20.
Ken.
Okay. Is it too big? Want me to make it smaller? Let me know.
No, it's good. I'm not for sure. Can I get the cantillation marks though?
Oh, it's good. Y'all really showing y'all stuff tonight. All right, all right. You got it.
Well, I mean, we like those. They're
Upon your
cute.
request. Upon your request. Go in.
Okay. Toda Rabah. Hallelujah. Waidaber Elohim et kol hadevarim ha'ele lemor. Anoki Adonai Elohecha asher hotzetika me'eretz Mitzrayim mebeit avadim. Lo yihye lecha Elohim acharim al panai. Lo ta'aseh lecha fesel Bekol temuna asher bashamayim mima'al, wa asher ba'aretz mitachat, wa asher b'mayim mitachat la'aretz. Lo tishtachave lahem, wa lo ta'avdem, ki anoki Adonai Elohecha, el kana poked avon, avot al banim, al shilishim, ve'al revi'im lesemnai. Ve'ose chesed le'alafim, le'ohavat, slicha, le'ohavai, u leshomre mitzvotai. Lo tisa et shem Adonai Elohecha leshav, ki lo yenake Adonai et asher yisa et shemo leshav. Zakor et yom hashabat lekadsho, sheshet yamim ta'avod ve'asita kol melaktecha. Ve'yom hashvi'i Shabbat le'Adonai Elohecha, lo ta'aseh kol melacha ata uvinka uvdeka, no, sorry, slika, uviteka, avdeka ve'ammetecha ubahemetecha Wagarka asher bisareka. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et shamayim wa et haaretz et hayam wa et kol asher bam wa yanak b'yom hashvi'i al ken Barek Adonai et Yom HaShabbat v'kidshehu. Kabed et avika v'et imeka lema'an ya'arikun yameka al ha'adama asher Adonai Elohecha noten lak. Lo titzak, lo tinaf, lo tinov, lo ta'ana, bere'eka ad shaker. Lo takmod beit raeka, lo takmod ishet raeka, ve'avdo, wa amto, wa shoro, wa chomoro, wa kol asher leraeka.
Hallelujah. Yeah.
Yay.
Very, very good reading, More Life. And I want to ask you a question. Is there anything you can tell us with your understanding of the Greek, of Hebrew, about the Torah itself, the commandments?
Okay. So there are 613 commandments in the Torah. And so this passage that we just finished reading are the 10 commandments. The actual word for it is the 10 sayings. And so from the time that we begin the 10 sayings until the very end is 620 letters. And so,
I'm sorry. Can you say that again, please?
from the time that you begin the 10 sayings until the very end of the 10 sayings is 620 letters. And so there's a thing called gematria, where each of the Hebrew letters, they also have a numerical value. And so this number is 620. The word for crown is actually the letters Kaf and Tav and the Resh, and together those add up to 620. And so the commandments are a crown for you, but also when you omit like the last 7 letters, which is it says what is it, to your Asher Le Re'eka, this phrase right here is to your neighbor. So you don't really need to keep saying that, because you shouldn't be doing any of these bad stuffs to your neighbor anyways. So when you omit just that little piece, then you have 613 letters, which is also the same amount of commandments in the Bible for us to follow.
Keep telling people, keep sleeping on Hebrew as a language, not realizing how much it can provide you with so much understanding of this Bible on a far more greater level than what anybody in any community is talking about. Forget in this moment saying in the Israelite community. We're talking about anybody in any community.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so, with that being said, Moral Life, I want to say thank you very much. I did want to kind of press you a bit and ask you if you can also read from Bereshit. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to take you to the book of Genesis, chapter 1, and I want you to read some of the opening verses. And we're at your speed, we're at your pace, and wherever you want to stop, you stop.
Okay. Hallelujah. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim va'et haaretz. V'haaretz haita tohu vavohu v'chorek al panei tehom. V'ruach Elohim merachefet al panei hamayim. Vayomer Elohim yehi or, vayehi or. Vayar Elohim et haor kitov, vayavdel Elohim bein haor ubein hachoshek. Vayikra Elohim laor yom, v'lachoshek kara laila. Wahi erev, wahi boker, yom echad.
I want to stop you there. I want to
Are you
stop you there.
scrolling? Oh,
I want to stop you there. The reason why I want to stop you there is I have a question. When we
okay.
speak to people in the biblical community about how we understand the Bible, when I say we, I'm just talking about people who follow the Bible in general, not talking about any one denomination, certainly not even limiting this to the Israelite community, but just people who read the Bible. When you ask people this very important question, such as, what is the light spoken of in day one in the narrative of creation? Right? We're told that um, God created light on day one. But then we're taught that on day four, we have the sun, the moon, and the stars to give light. So, what is the essential difference between the light of day one? And if you can, arm us in any way possible with how we can understand what the light of day one is.
Okay. I understand the light of day one to be um, Elohim himself. That because all things are created from him, then the light is, there's nothing else that's been created that was created that's not created from him. So even our existence, the things that we see, including the light being a created thing. And so he is the first light, the primary light, the origin of all of it. And the light that we are seeing is reflecting his light.
It's a very, very powerful take on that, more life. And that's exactly why I called on you to give your take on that. And so, thank you so very much, More Life. And with that, last but not least, we're going to hear from Maury Ariel. You hear us, Murray?
Shalom, Maury. I'm here. I'm here. Ready.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. And so, what I would like you to do is read Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 to verse 10. Then, before we come out of that, I have a question for you. Is that okay?
Go for it, Maury.
All right, the floor is yours.
Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve et haaretz. Ve haaretz hayeta tohu wavohu. Ve hoshek al penei tehom. Ve ruach Elohim merachefet al penei hamayim. Vayomer Elohim yehi or. Vayehi or. Vayar Elohim et haor kitov. Vayavdel Elohim ben haor uven hahoshek. Vayikra Elohim laor yom. Velahoshek kara laila. Vayehi erev vayehi voker. Yom echad. Vayomer Elohim. Yehi rakia betoch hamayim. Wihi mavdil ben mayim lamayim. Vayaas Elohim et harakia. Vayavdel ben hamayim. Asher mitachat lahrakia. Uven hamayim asher me'al lahrakia. Vayehi hen. Vayikra Elohim lahrakia shamayim. Vayehi erev. Vayehi voker. Yom sheni. Vayomer Elohim. Yitkavu hamayim mitachat hashamayim. El makom echad. Vetarae vayabasha. Vayehi hen. Vayikra Elohim layabasha eretz. Ulmikwe hamayim kara yamim. Vayar Elohim kitov.
Mm, mm, mm. Very, very
Vayomer
impressive.
Elohim. Tatshe haaretz deshe. Esev mazria zera. Et speri. Ose peri lemino. Asher zar ovo. Al haaretz. Vayehi hen. Watsote haaretz deshe esef. Excuse me. Watsote haaretz deshe esef. Mizria. Wow. Zera leminehu. Wait, I need to read that back. Watsote haaretz deshe esef. Mazria. Zerev leminehu. We es ose peri. Asher zar ovo leminehu. Wayar Elohim kitov.
All right, stop there, stop there, stop there, stop there. Very, very impressive reading from you guys tonight. Very, very impressive reader we have here right now as well. I want to ask you the same question I asked my wife, and I apologize that in this passage I don't have another question for you. I am very curious to hear um, you as well give us your take on how are we to know what the light of day one is, right? We know on day four we get the sun, moon, and the stars. What is the light of day one?
That is a good question. The light of day one. There's many beliefs on like what on that topic. A lot of people who are messianic, the messianics, they would like to believe that this is Yeshua,
Mhm.
and Yeshua being, or what we would call the Messiah. They would say that the Messiah is the light. Why? Because in essence, the Messiah is the Torah. Why? Why would you believe that the Messiah is the Torah? Because the Messiah is the essence of all the commandments within him. All of the commandments are within him. He keeps all commandments. He is the word, the living word of God. So that's one way of looking at it. I know the oral tradition says that the merahefet is the hovering. The hovering, there's a spirit in filling this spirit that's covering and filling something. there's a void that's filled when we use the word metahefet. And but going back to the light of day one and how it's different from day four. Day four was literally meant for us to distinguish the time, the days, seasons. It's literally there for us. But when we look at the light of day one, this is a reflection of God Himself, just like the Morah said. This is the reflection of God Himself on earth. And it's separate from the darkness that we see. This is the only time we see too that you see the separation between darkness and light. It makes you kind of think like, what was it like before? Was there a mixture of the two? What separated them? Were they together? Did God separate them on purpose? What's the reasoning behind that? So um to just answer the question real quick, what I believe is that I don't know what to believe. These are just the things that have been put in my path, and I'm still indecisive on what it is.
Powerful and humble. And that's the best way to go. And I say thank you for that. I'm going to have you now read from Shemot, chapter 20, right? Exodus chapter 20. Allow me to pull that up on the screen. And I would like for you to read from there as well. Also, same chapter, correct Kaf. And then Pasuk Aleph. Ready when you are.
Hallelujah.
And hold on, I'm sorry, and I should not have interrupted you. But I do want the community to know that this particular passage that he's reading from, and that Moral Life just read from, it's the Ten Commandments. And I want everybody that's listening to this live stream right now, I want you all, and I hate to sound cinematic, but I want you all to close your eyes and imagine that we are on the foot of Mount Sinai and we are hearing the voice of the living God as He is speaking the 10 words to us. I want everybody to listen with that type of conviction. My apologies, more in the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. וידבר אלוהים את כל הדברים האלה לאמור, אנוכי אדוני אלוהיך, אשר הוצאתיך מארץ מצרים, מבית עבדים. לא יהיה לך אלוהים אחרים על פניי. לא תעשה לך פסל וכל תמונה אשר בשמיים ממעל, ואשר בארץ מתחת, ואשר במים מתחת לארץ. לא תשתחווה להם ולא תעבדם, כי אנוכי אדוני אלוהיך אלקנה, בוגד עוון אבות על בנים, על שילשים ועל רבעים לשונאי, ועושה חסד לאלפים, לאוהבי ולשומרי מצוותי. לא תישא את שם אדוני אלוהיך לשווא, כי לא ינקה אדוני את אשר יישא את שמו לשווא. זכור את יום השבת לקדשו, ששת ימים תעבוד, ועשית כל מלאכתך. ויום השביעי שבת לאדוני אלוהיך, לא תעשה כל מלאכה, אתה ובנך וביתך, עבדך ואמתך ובהמתך, וגרך אשר בשעריך. ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, את הים ואת כל אשר בם, וינע ביום השביעי. על כן ברך אדוני את יום השבת ויקדשהו. כבד את אביך ואת אמך, למען יאריכון ימיך על האדמה אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך. לא תרצח, לא תנאף, לא תגנוב, לא תענה ברעך את שקר, לא תחמוד בית רעך, לא תחמוד אשת רעך, Weavdo, Wamato, Weshoro, Wahamoro, Wehol, Asher, Lereja. Hallelujah.
Ah, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. You know, one of the
Yes.
things that definitely gets me going in these classes is to see when you guys pour your spirit into this, because we can hear it. We can hear when you pour your spirit into this. The people who take the classes can tell you, among a lot of things, I'm annoying. I'll admit that. One of the things that I'll be annoying about is I'll always tell everybody, whenever you're reading, make sure that reading is well convicted. Read with conviction. They'll tell you conviction, 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 in that same voice, with that same cadence and repetition. Conviction. It shows your passion, it shows your drive, it shows your tenacity, it might even show a ray of your resilience. Whenever you are reading the words of the Bible, you are reading the words of the true and the living God. And if it be your blessing that you're able to learn the language that this text was originally written in, and you have the opportunity to read it in that language, which is Hebrew, which is Ivrit, then you are to read that with great conviction. And I gotta tell you, one of the things I was always impressed about this brother is that when he reads, he puts his soul into it. It's almost as if you can hear the trumpets coming out of him. And I gotta say, as a person who is a real nerd about this thing we call the Hebrew language, I really enjoy just hearing you in the classes. And so I appreciate you greatly, my brother. And I think that you are somebody who has something very, very special within you. And I really do wish to see you bless our community with your presence, man. Make sure that you take this newfound knowledge, I'm speaking now to all of you, and go enhance our community. The aim is not to stay by me for the rest of your life, for the rest of our lives. No, right? You guys are supposed to go out and become even greater than me. I am not one of those teachers that is stuck on self and says, hey, I'm going to just teach you this much because I don't need you passing me. Far be it that you're going to be out here doing better than me. That's corny. The relationship in the Bible, as you guys have always heard me say, between teacher and disciple is akin with that relationship between father, mother, and child, or parent and child. Just as a parent desires that the child go further than them, so it is that any real teacher should desire that the disciples, the student, goes further. I say to you all, take the knowledge and go further. If you a teacher, go out and make teachers. Leaders make leaders. So God damn it, if you teach, make teachers. Make sure you go out and you impress, you inspire, and you illuminate the heart and minds of every room and space that your body and spirit fills. Make the people know you. More importantly, make the people know your God. Because I promise you, you have it within you to do. If only many of our fallen soldiers, male and female, brother and sister in our communities, had people like this among us that could inspire us, that can empower us, maybe we would have made different choices. But we don't cry over spilled milk. We ask the question, what can we do from this point forward? And that answer is for you guys right now who are graduating, you are well armed to do much going forward. Take this knowledge, add to it, make it your own. Go out and create something even greater. And I am very, very proud of you guys because we were very, very close in this class. We laughed so much together. We had some really, really deep conversations. Like some of our other classes, you guys even formed study classes outside of classes. This was a very, very long class, but much needed, and we gleaned a lot from it. And many of you, I know, you're not leaving entirely, as I know you will be fully immersed in our letter 2 class. But I'm saying to you all for the first time that when I refer to you today as Moray, that is something that is actually official. You guys are teachers in the Israelite community as of today, and I congratulate you and I present you to the entire community as people who are well formidable that the community can come to for areas of Torah study and language. You guys have that heavy sign from me and that stamp of approval, and more importantly, you have the acceptance of your community. That's why we hold these things on YouTube, because we understand that we're not about tribalism. We're about nation building and communal building. This is why we presented and brought this to the community so that the people can see the new future leaders of now and tomorrow, which is what we all are. And with that being said, we're going to have a 30-second commercial break. And when we come back, it is certificate time for all of our graduates. Family, do support the platform. Thumb up the video and share the live. And if you see merit in what we're doing, don't forget to actually endorse and support the platform as well. And we will be back in 30 seconds or sooner. All right. And so, without any further ado, with that being said, on behalf of Learn Torah Hebrew Academy, this certifies that our brother Kazak, even More Kazak Ben Yehuda, has successfully completed our Biblical Hebrew 101 course. And we say congratulations to you, More, on quite an achievement, as this will definitely be one more notch in your belt to celebrate this year and in the years to come. On behalf of Learn Torah Hebrew Academy, I say congratulations to you, More, upon graduating this course.
Toda Moray.
Very, very welcome.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for everything, man. Like what you said earlier. You most definitely built online and offline, man. So thank you for everything, and I'm looking forward to building forward and just keep on learning from you, man. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome, man. Very, very, very welcome. All right. The next person that we are going to present is going to be More Zafan. More Zafan, excuse me. Thank you. There you go. I want everybody on YouTube everybody out there in YouTube world, we're going to need some YouTube and community participation. As we present our graduates with their certificates, I want you guys to light up this chat room with fire emojis, with bombs, with the hand clapping emojis, all that good stuff. Because on behalf of Learn Torah Hebrew Academy, this certifies that Zafan Ben Yamin has successfully completed our Biblical Hebrew 101 course on this day of September 12th, 2022. And to you, I say, my good friend and my brother, congratulations, Mazel Tov to you.
Again, all praises and honor and glory goes to the Most High first and foremost. I want to thank you, Moray, for being there, for uh, teaching us this beautiful language and inspiring us to continue on with it and learning it. And I want to give a special shout out to my fellow compatriots, especially Mora Life and Moray Ariel, because they inspired me to keep on going and making sure that I got to stay on point, because I feel like they are some front runners in this class, and as well as front runners in teaching this thing and carrying on the legacy. So it's them to inspire me to do the same.
That's a hell of a lot, brother. And we appreciate you greatly, man. And you know your contribution is valuable. And like I said, and I'm gonna hold you to it, man. We're gonna do something together because from among the classmates, you and I believe Ariel are local. So we gotta make sure that we do something because all of this celebration is nice, but I gotta say I can't call it beautiful just yet because it only becomes beautiful when we add the application behind it. So I'm gonna ask you guys to join me because you're so local, and let's host some local events right here together so that we can take this knowledge and empower our community in real time.
Most definitely.
All right. And so, with that being said, we are now going to present a friend indeed, my sister, my pal. I can even say my confidant based on our offline conversations. Someone who is not afraid to tell me, hey, Moray, you wrong. I'll show you. It's right here in the book. Somebody who's not afraid to tell me, Moray, we really appreciate you. You know, words like that go a long damn way. Sometimes people forget that it's just nice to be nice. And she never forgets that. And so it's with great honor, More Life, that I present you in the Israelite community. And this is groundbreaking because we don't usually see this with regard to women in the community. So I take great honor in having these moments because on behalf of Learn Torah Hebrew Academy, this certifies that Morah Chaya Bat Yisrael has successfully completed our Biblical Hebrew one-on-one course on this day of September 12th, 2022.
Yay.
And I say on behalf of our class that you are a leader, my sister. And when I call you a leader publicly, I mean that in the most genuine way. That you have proven to be a leader on so many fronts. And I know that there's a lot that our Creator, that our God, that our King has in store for you. And I can only pray that He clear the path before you and ensure your success. And I want to let you know a secret. You bad. And when I
Thank
say
you.
bad, I mean in a good way. You got that thing, my sister. I respect you. I love you. I even have admiration for your very strong spirit. Very enlightening. I mean, you guys weren't in the class, YouTube world, to understand what everybody that is receiving the certificate tonight that knows her understands. The sister is a linguist in her own right. She is very, very sharp. Hebrew is not even the only language she knows. She also knows a bit of Arabic. Hello.
Yeah.
And so when you have people like that with those kind of skill sets that bring so much weight to the table, sometimes, even as a man, you gotta step aside and let God do with this woman what he intends to do. Could you imagine if brothers wouldn't let Deborah be who she was? Then would she have become a judge and a prophetess before her people and before her God?
Yeah.
We gotta step aside as men sometimes to let our Sarah be our Sarahs, to let Huldah be Huldah, to let Esther be Esther. We have to step aside to allow the prophecy and vision of Miriam to materialize. We have to stop thinking in the Israelite community that the leadership is only among the men. And yes, you heard me say that live and in living color. Because I've read somewhere, possibly in the book of Micah, where the Creator said, I sent Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. Somebody talk to me. And so when we recount the Exodus, we usually say, God did so much amazing things through the hand of Moses. Yay! Then some people be like, yo, don't forget, Aaron was there. And then everybody be like, oh, yeah, that's right. And guess who everybody forgets? Miriam.
Yeah.
But I got to tell everybody, and I hope everybody's listening very carefully. Men might forget some of the people that are great among us, but God won't. God made sure to let the people know that He didn't just bring forth Moses and Aaron. He also sent Miriam on that day. And so I say to you, my sister, with great conviction, continue to be as great as you are, and I know that there's a lot more to come from you. Shalom unto you.
Toda Rabah, More.
Hallelujah. And so, last but not least, we have our brother, our brother, our brother, our brother. What can I say? Let me share my screen so you guys can see. Can everybody see my screen?
Ken.
All right. Because on behalf of Learn Torah Hebrew Academy, this is to certify that Ariel ben Ephraim has successfully completed our Biblical Hebrew 101 course on this day of September 12th, 2022. Congratulations to you, my brother. Applause is definitely in. And I say to you, brother, man, again, I know I'm harping on your talent and your skill set tonight, but I really want to say to you, man, that you are very, very impressive, man. Your thinking, your skill set, and just the way that you represent, man. It's an honor to call you my brother. And it's an honor that you took notice of me to say to yourself that I value this man and his platform and his classes enough that I would actually take from my family and invest in this area. That speaks volumes to me. Anytime a man takes away what could go towards the food on his table in any direction other than the food on his table, the people in receipt of that, you had better put respect on it. And I have a lot of respect for that. And so I congratulate you, my brother, for graduating Biblical Hebrew 101. Is there anything that you would like to say?
Wow, what can I say? Just being here amongst greatness. I mean, my classmates, they're all great, all of them. And I learned from every single one of you guys because everybody has something to say. And I listen to everything that everyone says and I take it into consideration. And when I saw you on YouTube more, it was something different. It was way different. I was like, nah, this is something else. This is not like the rest of the people out here in the street screaming. Nah, this brother is more calm, collected, precise, and he's methodical in his approach. So I had to, I knew it. I would just gravitated towards you. It just had to happen, and I don't regret it at all. I'm honestly honored to be amongst greatness, and I appreciate you, big bro. Thank you.
I appreciate you likewise, man. If you can, I want you to I know that this might be pressing my own luck, but I still want to ask this of you. If you can you tell us what do you think, in your opinion, would be the importance of learning the Hebrew language in order to understand the Bible better?
In order to understand the Bible better. So, in order for you to understand the Bible, period, you have to know the Hebrew. We think we understand the Bible because we're learning it from the English language or whatever language you're learning it from. But if you're not learning it from the Hebrew itself, you don't know the Bible like you think you know it. There's things that you're gonna learn when you read in the Bible in the Hebrew language. When you read in the Hebrew language, most definitely you're gonna learn. And that's why it's really important for me to learn the Hebrew language. And with great teachers like you, I tried to learn by myself and I couldn't. But going to your classes, your zeal made me want to go forward. It's like, nah, this brother did it. I could do it. I'm definitely gonna do it. And I kept on doing it and doing it and doing it. And there's a lot, I mean, I got a lot of catching up to do. I just started and I'll get there eventually. And I take your invitation. We're local. Whatever you need me, Maury, I'm there.
All right, man. I appreciate that, man. And usually I don't do this, but let's let the party continue because I don't need you to leave just yet. Because on behalf of Learn Torah, Hebrew Academy, Mori Ariel Ben Ephraim, you have also received one of our more coveted certificates, which is our certificate of valedictorian. Shout out to you.
Oh man.
This is to certify that Ariel Ben Ephraim has received our valedictorian certificate in recognition of your excellence and outstanding performance in our Biblical Hebrew course 101. That's a huge honor in our classes.
I would like to thank you for that honor. And I kind of want to share this certificate with my sister Mora. Mora, I learned a lot from you. Don't shake your head. I learned a lot from you. I want to share that certificate with you because um I'm 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 humble enough to know when I'm amongst like greatness. You and Moray, you two are a dynamic duo, honestly. And I appreciate your help, Mora, and definitely you, Moray, for sure. For sure, for sure. Thank you so much for the honor. I don't know what to say. Wow, this is amazing.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Thank
You
you.
know, I share in your sentiment when it comes to moral life because what she brought to the table in these classes in a very short time was a drive that I haven't seen in a while, not just in the classes but in my personal life. And it's possible that it's for that reason that we don't just have one valedictorian this year, because you also will be receiving our highly coveted certificate of valedictorian in our life.
There we go. Yeah.
Thank you. So I can share this one with Ariel too then. That way we can both have a whole certificate.
And you must allow me, I must be on record when I say that this certificate certifies that Mora Haya Bat Yisrael, in recognition of your excellence, outstanding performance in our Biblical Hebrew Course 101, on behalf of Learn Torah Hebrew Academy, we
Wow.
also present you with our valedictorian certificate.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I gotta say something because this is so real, it's not even funny. The people in our classes know more than the people on YouTube that these certificates were earned greatly by everyone here. There's not a single person here that didn't work their you know what off to make this happen. And so it's with great honor that I present these certificates to you guys this evening. And I gotta say that I look forward to seeing where you guys are gonna go in the future. With Biblical Hebrew 102, um, that graduation ceremony happens in place, right? When we rent out a hall, pick a favorite city, and we do this on a much grander scale. And so I want our community to look out for that because that is definitely the next thing in store. But in this small moment, I want to thank everyone in the community for continuing to endorse these classes, Learn Torah, Hebrew Academy. Do remember that you can find our classes on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Zion Lex. We have something entirely new this year that we didn't have last year, which is the ability to make monthly payments. People did make notice, brought to my attention last year and even years ago, that it might be tough to pay for the entire class in full one shot. And so with certain people, I would work one on one, and then I had bad stories to where I just got turned off by it because people didn't make or honor their word to pay. But what we did this time around with Patreon is we made all of the classes extremely affordable by having you make monthly payments towards your classes. And with that being said, if there's anyone in the community that would like to join our Hebrew class, feel free to send us an email at 613, that's 613, learntorah@gmail.com. That's 613, learntorah@gmail.com. And I want to say tonight, the most important acknowledgement tonight is that of our God and our King. And I want to say we thank you, Almighty God, O great King of the universe, for allowing us to share in this sacred space this evening and have this moment and this opportunity to not only have our eyes, our heart, and our ears open towards the revelation of your word, your Torah, but to even raise up from among us able bodied men and women who stand in full service of your will, ready to do your will in the highest and greatest capacity that you allow them to. We thank you for allowing these classes to materialize and for us to have conceivable fruition. I pray that you continue to bless our efforts. I pray that you edify our every step that we take towards you. And I pray that you bless all of our endeavors. To you be the glory, to you be the glory, and in your name we pray when we say, Hallelujah, Toda. With that being said, I'm going to end this live stream with some very famous statements that I like to typically make. I usually tell the people in our classes when we're about to exit the class that they don't got to leave their bedroom. They don't got to leave their living room. But y'all definitely got to get off my live stream. Everybody have a great night. See you all good soon.
Shalom, Moray.
Shalom, Moray.